No matter your age, your plan for retirement can start today. From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Retirement Report.
Good morning. Welcome to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. We're going to be talking about the coming retirement crisis this morning and the secrets to protecting your investments. You know, this is a really interesting time to say in our country right now. We've got 10,000 baby boomers that are turning 65 every day. That's right. Every day. So that's a big pool of people going into retirement. And these baby boomers are facing a perfect storm of grand proportions. It's a worst case scenario in this way. What do we have? What do we see right now? We see historically low interest rates. All right. What does that mean for the future when you have historically low interest rates? Well, they're going to be going up, aren't they? And that could be, if we look at our monetary, the economy right now, if we look at what's going on with regard to the debt and the deficit, we could even see hyperinflation. We could see prices rise quite dramatically, and you could see you as investors get caught in the crosshairs of that. Another one, high cost of health care. As we get older, right, 10,000 baby boomers turning 65, that means the older we get, the more our parts tend to wear out, and we're going to need help there, and that means more health care, and health care expenses are rising faster than that of inflation, higher than the normal CPI, in other words, at a faster rate. The other thing that we're dealing with, we've got historically low tax rates. So the same thing, if we've got all this debt and the deficits, where's that, you know, we got to pay that back at some point. How's that going to get paid back? Well, if we're spending $1 trillion more a year than we're taking in taxes, that means that these historically low tax rates are not sustainable. It just means our government keeps spending and not presenting us the bill. Eventually, they're going to have to present the bill. That means, what are we looking at? Inflation, higher taxes, higher health care costs, and then here's another big part of this, and this is where inflation becomes even more critical, and that's that we're living longer. All right. There was a time when we had people that, you know, when you retired, you were maybe in your 50s, and you were looking at dying actually before you reached your 65 birthday. Today we've got people that on average are retiring at age 62 and could live easily for 2, 3, maybe even 4 decades in retirement. So are your savings going to be enough to last you 20, 30, 40 years possibly when those wages stop? So how do you protect yourself? We're going to talk about that this morning when you're looking at that type of time frame that we need to protect against and how to do it. We're going to talk about ways that can be done. Now, one of the other risks is that of volatility or market risk. When you're investing, as most of us have, in 401ks, IRAs, retirement accounts, and we're saving that money up to be able to live on, it's probably the biggest thing I hear from my clients. One of their biggest fears is that they're going to run out of money in retirement, that they're going to end up broke because of how long they might live, and do I have enough saved just to maintain my current standard of living? All right, nothing, even just to do that. Now, if they've got some other goals, they'd like to maybe enjoy life a little more. Maybe I've got clients that come in, they said, you know, we're good savers, we've been looking to make sure that we're going to have enough to not run out, but we're a little nervous, and we maybe even invest a little aggressively because we're so concerned we're not earning enough and we're going to run out of money. A big part of what we do is helping people understand how to avoid that, basically, how to make sure that you've got enough and that you're not going to run out. All right, so here's something I'm going to offer to you this week. I'm going to help you, all right, for your personal family situation, because everybody's different. Someone came in this past week, and they were asking me, how much do I need to save for retirement? Well, there's just not a general answer. There's not one number fits all kind of things. It depends on so many different factors as far as your family, when are you planning on retiring, how long might you live? In other words, how's your health? How's that of your parents, for instance, and siblings? So do you have pretty good genes? In other words, is there a good chance you're going to live for a while? What about the amount of money that you're going to need, what kind of lifestyle do you have, what kind of things do you want to do in retirement, do you have kids and grandkids, is that going to be a part of it? So there's a lot of things a lot of information we have to gather to be able to answer that question. And if you've got those same kind of questions and you'd like to get an answer for them, here's what we're going to do. There's a great article that's out of Wall Street Journal this past week. It was entitled, "Are You Ready for a Long Retirement? Few Americans are set to live into their 90s, which is an increasing likelihood." So we used to think about living into our 70s and 80s. Now it's your 90s and even beyond age 100. In fact, some are predicting that people could live as long as 110 or even 120 years old. Well, will your retirement savings last 3 or 4 decades when the paychecks stop coming in every 2 weeks? For the first 10 callers on the show today, we're offering you a chance to get a free customized retirement analysis. Discover how to maximize your Social Security benefits. We want to make those last as long as possible and get as much out as possible. Reduce your taxes. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep, right? Maximize your income in retirement with the least amount of risk. Plus how to position and protect your investments from the high cost of health care, inflation, and higher taxes. And when all these things work together, it can make a significant and profound difference with your retirement game plan, and the results may even shock you. All right, this analysis is ideally suited for people who are retired or within 5 years of retiring. One of the things, too, I had a great analogy for this. If you're going to bake a cake, right, it's going to be hard to do it if you don't have any groceries in the pantry. If you want me, the most help I can be to you in retirement is if you've already done some work there. You've got some savings. You've got, some money that you've put away into your 401k, right? So call my office, 376-5325. We'll get this up a couple more times through the show. 376-5325 if you'd like to know how to put your plan in order, all right, to get that free personalized retirement income analysis. First 10 callers, 376-5325. All right. I've got a bunch of articles I pulled out and I want to go over with you. It's amazing how much misinformation is out there. Now, one of the things that go with that, and I'm going to, if you come in to see me, you'll find that one of the things I like to do, if you don't already have my book, I want to make sure you leave with one of my books. And the reason is that on chapter 1 for this morning in particular, on chapter 4, this deals with safe money, and one of the things that we get into, chapter 5, is how the smart money invests. So we teach you about investing. We teach you about the stock market, how it really works, how to measure not just the average returns, but also how to measure risk in your portfolio, right? Also in chapter 4, when I talked about safe money, how to set a foundation down there. Annuities are one of the ways that you can do that. They're in the news quite a bit, and I have people come in and they say, I hear a lot of bad things about annuities. Why is that? What's going on there, and can you shed some light? So let me share with you some of the reasons that you're hearing this kind of thing. This was from CNBC.com, and it says, do annuities fit in a retirement plan? Now, annuities are somewhat, I'm going to read from the article here. Annuities are somewhat controversial because some come with high fees and they may not pay off as much as other investments, but some retirement specialists believe annuities have their place because they offer peace of mind. They act as an insurance policy that protect retirees from outliving their income. Now, some of that paragraph, the thing with that is that this thing about high fees, absolutely, there are annuities out there that have high fees. And you've heard me say this before. There are thousands of products offered by all these different insurance companies out there. Now, the problem with that is that, yes, many of them, variable annuities in particular, have very high fees. I don't recommend you get those, all right? In fact, of all those thousands of products that are on the market today, what we're looking at is maybe 20 to 30 products out of all of those, all right? So maybe about 2 or 3%, if that are really going to give you the best benefits. So yes, when you're looking at the whole marketplace, narrow it down. Now, things are getting more competitive, products are improving, but having said that, there's still only about 2 or 3% that lead the way. And I've seen people bring in annuities. I've seen in looking at their annuity contracts, I'm able to show them, look at these high fees that you do have, look at the way they cap out your earnings so that it makes it difficult between the fees and the caps to really get any kind of real net return. Certainly hard to stay ahead of inflation and taxes. And then I'll show them an annuity that doesn't have any caps, that doesn't have any fees, and that in fact historically when we look at the returns compares quite favorably with a conservative, in some instances maybe even a moderate portfolio for returns with no risk to their principal. So I want to show you more about those, and I'm going to get into these articles and show you some of the pros and cons, help you read between the lines and understand, yes, there are bad things, but there are also some very good things, and show you how to make the difference there. All right, so join me here. We're going to be right back on the Retirement Report.